Welcome back to Let's Play Rome Total War with me, Squawker, and when we left off, bad news had hit us when, well, we'd lost control of Corduba, unfortunately, because of some poor planning ahead on my part, and now it's, things are just a wee little bit not so good for us right now. The Spanish are now launching an attack on Carthago, which I'm on my way to try and counter now. But what I am trying to do at the minute is we are going to try and get Corduba back. It was a very close battle, I will say. Well, at least the battle was closer than it should have been. As in, my men did too well. So what we are doing is I'm sending my spy over to keep an eye on the town, and we're going to try and re-infiltrate it as soon as we can and regain access to the town and then take it back. Still in a very shaky position on the campaign map. I was going to try and take it next turn actually, but unfortunately my army, led by Philosopher Ubisius, he's had to turn around to deal with Captain Nicholas, who's decided to rear his ugly head at a time when I don't want it. But if he completes this battle successfully, reinforcements will be at his back, so it's his little reward. I'm basically sending him a little RPG quest. There's also still some Spanish in his form of Captain Ander just poking around near Oscar. Right now I'm not really in the mood to evacuate anything else out of Oscar. I think he might just turn around and leave, but for now, let's just go to the next turn and see what's going on with everything. Right, so the Spanish are choosing to draw closer to the area, and but at the same time, they're leaving Corduba. Now, what does disturb me about Corduba is the amount of trade they're currently conducting with New Midi, which means we need to take this town back quickly before the Spanish use that money they'll be making right now to raise some horrible troops. So, Daniel Hades, you get into Corduba and get ready to spy. Meanwhile, Philosopher, you're going to get ready for your next battle. But let's just make sure we're in Corduba and we're watching those Spaniards, see what they're up to. Need to keep an eye on these tricky people. They're like fish. If fish are tricky people. Fish are fish. But right now that army isn't too good. The general's still there. He stayed out of a battle like a coward. There's only some cavalry, a few Spanish mercenaries and some Iberian infantry. That's okay. We are pulling in money, by the way. We're only pulling in mean. Ooh, dear. Ooh, Germania's gone. Right. Well, that's interesting-ish. We never really interacted with them, but... Right, I'm not sure who's taken them over, though. Could be Gaul, Britannia, or Dacia, or even the Romans, if that, but I don't think that's very likely. Yeah, money's pretty piss poor at the minute. We're going to have to do something about that. But on the upside, we do have markets, shipwrights, and better mines now, which is going to be pulling in a nice big chunk of money for us. And Oscar got a few more Iberian infantry ready, and the trade's increased. Daniel Hades got more spy skills, so yeah, that's all good actually. How is my financial doing for this turn, by the way? Let's have a quick look. We are going to be making a profit, but a very, very teeny profit, right. Let's fix that up first by getting rid of this army and getting our trade back up and running. No point bringing this captain around to the battle because he won't make it in time, so it's just a 1v1. I have enough troops to hopefully win. The Spanish do seem to fall to me with not ease, but you know, when we put our minds to it, we do seem to beat them. They have a lot of round shield cavalry, a lot of Iberian infantry, naked fanatics, so we should be able to break them in terms of morale with my slingers, my new Spanish mercenaries. So yeah, I'm basically recruiting Scutari now. I think these guys, well, they're probably not going to become the main line of my army, but given that, I'm going to have a quick look at their finances actually when we get into this battle, because if these guys are cost effective, I might start outright replacing Iberian infantry with these. I mean, it's kind of historical as well. Carthage was heavily reliant on mercenaries for their armies because it's not like Rome where you basically joined the military or you were a no one and you were laughed at and you were a pleb and you smelt bad. Oh well, whatever. Right, 5-4 ratio in my favour. I outnumber him by just about 200 men. Should go in my favour, hopefully. Then we'll get those reinforcements and we're going to take back Corduba. I always have a plan.
Many brave soldiers have seen the dawn. How many will see the sun sing in the west? How many of the enemy already pray for night? And remember this above all. The gods watch us today. Be sure they are not ashamed by your actions. Now advance!
Alright, let's start advancing then.
Await my orders.
So let's think about how we're going to do this battle then. The Spanish will take up positions on this hill, and most likely for a morale boost and a defensive bonus against me. This plays in, well, it doesn't play in my favour at all. This actually plays against me because I use slingers as my mainline archer troops. So, yeah, my slingers aren't going to have an easy time, but they should be able to weed out a few kills anyway. By the way, there's Carthago Nova, our new capital, growing nicely. But Balearic slingers, you're going to be my front line. And Spanish mercenaries, you're going to be making the well, the centre of my infantry block. Let's place 3 Iberian infantry on this wing here, and we'll place 3 more on the other wing here. And really, I think it's just really going to be a case of just getting in there and getting into a melee fight. My men do have augmented equipment for the most part, which actually should give me the edge over the enemy. So that's what I'm relying on, as well as using my cavalry to try and keep the enemy round shield cavalry off balance. I'm also going to, I think I also did have some long shield cavalry waiting for my Nova. Tempted to bring those to the siege, but then again, cavalry in a siege, I'm still a little bit iffy about it. But that's my troop build done right there. So use the infantry really. I'm gonna try and make sure we exploit our missiles as much as possible. So making sure my my Spanish mercenaries, I'm gonna make sure they expend all of their javelins before we get the chance. But you know what? Today I do feel like reading up about a troop. So these guys have a cost of 170 denarii per turn. Obviously, their recruitment cost will vary between region, and if I recruit them with a, like, say, if I can't remember if Philoseus has a mercenary captain within his retinue, but if we have one of those, then it makes life a little easier for me. But let's just compare them to the Iberian infantry, their rival, basically, who I could be outing them out. They actually have an identical cost in terms of upkeep, so that's already 1 point in favour of the Spanish mercenaries. Obviously, we're going to have to watch their battle performance before I make a final judgment. But Spanish mercenaries do pack less melee attack than the Iberians, surprisingly. However, I do have access to a missile weapon before charging. That's good. And the charge bonus, both of them carry a charge bonus of 2, so there's no difference there. Weapon heavy, these guys are light infantry. Well, actually, they're both light infantry, but the Spanish mercenaries use heavy weapons. That doesn't make sense, but it might be to do with a big shield. In terms of defensive capability, the Spanish win here. 3 armor, 4 defense skill, and 5 to shields, whereas these guys have a 3 armor, 5 to defense skill, and 2 to their shield. So these guys are better. These guys have a better chance of absorbing missile damage and stuff like that. Obviously, their armor isn't the best, but you know what? These guys actually do all right. Hit points 1 as well. These guys have 1 hit. Yeah, 1 hit and you're dead, basically, ish. Not quite sure how the health works in this game. My men just seem to die when they feel like it. So yeah. Thinking about this, these guys who also do become the Scutari, they are basically Scutari, as the Romans did hire them out, and they used their scutum, or because of their large shields. Yeah. I am actually tempted to maybe start replacing Iberian infantry with Spanish mercenaries. If we can, I mean, obviously the money isn't really so much of a problem. Obviously, we would be factoring the fact that there's probably a large cost to recruit them, because it's 240 to recruit an Iberian infantry. So, and also obviously there's a limited pool of mercenaries out there in the lands. But yeah, I don't know. Does anyone in the comments have a thought on this? Should I actually consider replacing my Iberian infantry with Spanish mercenaries? Because right now, I think it could work. And actually, that's one way to find stuff out. We'll test it in the field. This is going to only be a small field test, but this could be a successful field test. Right. Anyway, let's give the Spanish a quick minute just to make their minds up over where they're going to position. I did predict they would be on the top of the hill, except these guys are positioned like sort of halfway down the hill. We do have our cavalry on the move, which does suggest to me that the Spanish know I'm a bit of a bugger for bringing my slingers in first, because that's what I like to do now. So they're putting their cavalry there to act as a deterrent. That wasn't supposed to happen, Spain. Is he dead? Huh. Well, he survived being thrown in the air by a horse, but hopefully he doesn't survive being stabbed in the gut by one of my guys. Right. This is a little bit dangerous that they're choosing to bring their cavalry out forward, because that means it's putting me off bringing my slingers forward. However, where there's a wheel, there's a way. Not that there are any wheels here, but there's big oval shields. Spanish mercenaries, you will take the lead on this one. Begin bringing yourselves forward into a pilum distance and give them a little smattering of javelins. I need you to act as a shield for my slingers, who I'm going to sneak around. But while we are here, let's bring our main battle line forward a little bit, just so we don't get caught with our trousers down at any point. So begin bringing yourself forward and make sure we are ready to deal with the Spanish as they come. They're going to start pulling their infantry back. And what would be not preferable as a result in this battle is, I do want to try and kill as many of these guys as possible. I need these guys out of my hair so I can safely retake Corduba, because I can't really. I mean, we're just not flexible enough at the minute. That is one thing we do have a problem with. But right now, the Spanish are pulling their cavalry back, which seems a bit of an unwise move in my opinion, because now that means I can just fall back to my regular tactic. So, slingers, if you wouldn't mind, begin bringing yourselves forward. Cavalry, position yourselves on that road. General, I want you at the back, ready for action. Other cavalry, you start bringing yourself here. I've got cavalry on all my wings, so I have all my bases covered. But, yeah, this could be interesting. Right, you guys, just come to a halt there. You guys, let's just make sure we're all nice and lined up. Oh, that's not lined up. That's not lined up either. Yeah, about there. Right, you guys just line up, get ready for the Spanish. You guys, I need you in front of the slingers. Don't fire shots from behind the Spanish mercenaries. We all know what happens. We end up with a disaster. Right, they're bringing their cavalry forward. Right, pull the slingers back. Pull the slingers back. Oh, they're gonna pull back. Right. Right. Don't fire at will, by the way, slingers. I can't afford to have you clumsily do a friendly fire without me noticing. It's when I feel embarrassed, humiliated, and annoyed. Right. I think they're trying to fake me out with that cavalry, actually. They're feinting. That's what we're doing. They're feinting. Right. You bring some enforcement to this part of the battlefield. Enforce our will. Balearic slingers. Let's pick a target. Those Iberian infantry look tempting. Give them a quick throw. Go on, give them a whack. Good volley. Right, pull back. Right, cavalry. Police this flank. If they dare charge into our flank, you flank there. Simple as that. Right, keep an eye on this side as well. Right, you guys, I want you ready to police this flank as well. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna be the flank police today. Right. Didn't do too bad in that volley. I already see a few dead bodies joining the field. So pull forward once more. That cavalry's coming really close. Right, pull back. They're gonna bring that cavalry in. My javelins are gonna go in. Right, Iberian infantry, get in there. Spanish have shown their hand. Right. Round shield cavalry, get in there, police that flank. You guys, start bringing those guys down, getting bogged down. You've got some Iberian, you've got some naked fanatics to deal with. Corner them. Right, oh, wait, oh, naked fanatics. Oh no, sorry, not the naked, right. Round shield cavalry doesn't want to know right now. He's starting to pull some Spanish back. Right, round shield cavalry, pull back. You've done your job for this second. Right. Cavalry, see if you can get a success. Oh, well, too late, you've already charged to us. Right, shield cavalry. Get in the back of those naked fanatics. Those are the guys we need to bring down. Slingers, I hope you're out at safe distance. Right, good. Losing some of my cavalry there. Right, that's a little bit of a disaster. General, you're going to have to go in and assist now. Because I have some infantry which are now, yeah, they're at risk of losing, routing, all that stuff. Right, naked fanatics are pulling back. Right. Units cease. We need to get some organisation going here. Shield cavalry, start bringing down their shield cavalry. We're pulling some back, so we've got the Spanish on the run now. Let's reorganise our Iberian infantry. Make sure we have a new line set up. So Iberian infantry, you go here. Spanish mercenaries, you haven't quite had the opportunity to expel all your things yet. Right, you two, I need you to form a group now. Right, form up. Right, pull back. Get into those cavalry. Just start bringing down as much round shield cavalry as you can. Just start bringing them down. Don't get too far ahead of yourself of philosophy here. Spanish could be leading you into a trap, but I think actually at this point they're actually now in a full-blown rout. Right, all cavalry forward. Not slingers, by the way. All cavalry forward. I'm calling it, it's a rout. Spanish once more show that they have no bottle for a fight and choose to run. Obviously some will stay if I choose to engage them, which is why I'm just going to have to go with a big cavalry sweep. Just sweep fast. There we go. Just through them all and a break. Simple as that. Right! Good victory. But I didn't really get the best opportunity to field test my Spanish mercenaries, but I'm still very, very eager to hear some input from fellow Total War players or YouTube commenters or whatever. I'm not really too sure who watches these videos, but I do know that this series seems to be the most successful I have on my channel, so yeah. That's one thing I have going in my life. Right, anyway, you guys, there we go. Good charge, good charge. Right, keep bringing them down, keep bringing them down. Don't just... Yeah, continue the battle. I want as many dead as possible. Don't just like circle around them, guys. I mean, I know it's good to surround and herd enemies, but do the thing where you stab them with your sword a little bit. That's always useful for bringing down these stupid, miserable fucking fops. Right, there we go. Keep bringing them down. Right, cavalry. Let's just turn around, get some of those guys dealt with. You, come on, bring yourself in. Some of the infantry's coming to join as well. By the way, I don't really know why they're coming, but yeah. They just love charging forward, and that's victory for me, by the way. The invisible wall unfortunately dictates how many I may kill and how many I must allow to live for now. And I would say, I think a few too many have slipped through my grasp. But then again, I probably should have actually factored in that the Spanish probably would have routed without routing, if you get what I mean. Before their flags turn white and flash and surrender, they would actually just choose to withdraw. Which always seems a bit weird. But then again, I was the aggressor in this battle, so I can see why the Spanish would choose to withdraw. It's not their day today.
And there is nothing the enemy can do but run.
But then again, if the Spanish were going to withdraw from this battle, then why did they fucking provoke me? Well, what think about that then, stupid Spaniards? Minimal losses, which is always good for me to see. And yeah, that's just what I like. Right, good victory overall. Overall, cavalry were the big winners. Spanish mercenaries, they got a few kills in. Balearic slingers didn't really get a chance to shine. So I will give credit where credit's due. The Spanish did really force me to be a little bit more cautious than usual by use of their cavalry, but it didn't really take long for it all to slip into my favour. Good win for me at the end of the day. The strong did what they could, the weak suffered what they must. And he is on his way back now. He might be retreating towards Corduba. If he is, then fair enough. We're going to sit tight for one turn and get our reinforcements. But we're probably in a race back to Corduba now. But Philosopher Busius, he got 2 more command stars. By the way, let's just have a quick look, by the way. He doesn't have a mercenary thing. How much? Oh, wow. 750 denarii to recruit. Yeah. Well, there's the big argument against replacing my Iberian infantry then. We don't have the money for that. However, if we could raise the money for doing that kind of stuff, then I would be a very, very happy person. I think I will be introducing more mercenaries into the army when the financial situation turns into my favour. But also freeing up this trade route now and getting rid of the Spanish, that should hopefully affect my finances for the better. Doesn't really look like it, but oh well, we tried. Your taxes could actually be much higher. Why aren't the taxes high? Do the taxes really, really high? There we go. Right, Public Order is now in the gutter, but I now have my tax money, which keeps me happy. Right, Captain Abidus, by the way, let's get you moving. You're going to be... Oh, wow, it's going to take a while for you to reach. I'm kind of tempted just to have you join once you... You know what? You start making your way over, you'll be a follow-up army. I might be able to use you to try and clip the wings of any Spanish who try to flank us. Right, but for now, I think that's where we're going to call it an episode. Good stopping point in my opinion. Nice little battle just to get me warmed up for today's recording session, since I decided to wait a day since yesterday's episode because I was sick. Yes. Still fighting the illness, but I think I'm feeling better now, and I hope we're all feeling better today, and I hope we all have a wonderful evening. For next time, we're going to be, well, sort of in a race/march to Corduba. Going to get that town back, siege it, don't care what I do with it. Well, I do care what I do with it. I want that back in my control. For now, we're going to go for a nice little walking tour of the Iberian Peninsula's coast. Take this, take that, and then maybe an invasion of Gaul at the end of the day. Gotta try and find a way to take out Rome very soon. I would prefer it if Rome was gone before they become too powerful, because right now they're trying to take Africa, and I want Africa back. That's my homeland. I mean, I've got to take back this homeland before I go all the way back to my original homeland. It all seems like a pipe dream now, returning to Tyre, all in a pipe dream. But one day, dreams will come true. For now, I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you all on the next episode. Have a pleasant evening, my friends.